I'm really excited about
I am
this
too.
homemade pie. So
There's a pecan pie already done back there.
So all I have to do is mention I'm making dessert and Lindsay's here.
Oh, there you go.
She said, what kind are you making? And I said, well, pecan pie for sure. And she said, okay, I'm coming.
That's my favorite.
So let's talk about pie crust a little bit. I know it's just so easy to go and buy the pre-made pie crust. And the problem is they're like so decently good, it's hard to argue with.
Yeah.
And so that's totally fine. Like, we can all do that. But I think just at least to try it, we should do it from scratch just to show, like, you can do this. Like, if anybody thinks you can't do this or it's too fussy, I just want to show that you can do this totally. And, well, like Granny, I'm sure that's what you always did, wasn't it? Did you ever buy a pre-bought?
I never bought a pie that was pie crust. You did in later years. I never had a pre-made. Well, only after she turned 95, you know. Yeah.
I think it's safe to say that she went from scratch the whole time.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I don't want to present myself as an expert at all on this. I'm totally like learning, and I'm glad you're here because I like to talk about what other people do. Like, I know what I've tried and kind of what works a little and what doesn't, but I love to hear what other people do because you never know when somebody might have a little tip for you that just changes everything. So
Yeah.
a while back, I actually paid to take this little online class. This gal she is an expert baker, to make her best ever pie crust, and I did her little class with her, and I learned a couple really cool things. So that's the recipe and method we're gonna do. In hers, I've looked at different things like shortening and real butter for your fats, and I keep the best of the best recipes keep going back to real butter. They said just for the taste, there's just nothing that beats it. But like, Granny, did you use Crisco in yours?
Use Crisco? No, I always use butter. I think I used a mix.
Okay,
maybe.
like half and half maybe?
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I made pie crust of what I used, but
Yeah.
I've used Crisco before. Yeah, but butter is the way to go, eh?
Okay.
But there were a couple of times when I didn't have enough butter, and then I added the other stuff.
Oh, okay. So.
And it worked out fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, the end of the day is they can both work and work well, but it sounds like the general consensus is let's stick with real butter just for the flavor, if nothing else.
Yeah.
And there's different pros and cons, like Crisco can be easier, but we are sticking with butter, and I want to show that it can be easy because we're going to do a couple steps to make it easy. So I'm just going to run down, when I did this class, I have the handout and the notes from it, so I have it right in front of me. And I'm going to share a couple of the things that she showed me. So the first thing that she did was she took her sticks of butter and put them in the freezer for like 15 minutes. She says 10 minutes, but I think, I've done about 15 minutes here. So Lindsay, if you want to grab those 2 sticks of butter in the top back of the freezer, and that will keep your butter nice and cold. And luckily we're more towards the winter, so we're not having to worry about keeping it extra cold like if your kitchen's 80 degrees in the summer. But right now we're just going to stick with the sticks of butter that were they're nice and cold. They were in the freezer. So what she recommended to do was take a box grater or like a cheese grater. So I'm just using our little grater, and right now for this example, I'm just doing a single crust recipe amount. And we're going to use 10 tablespoons of butter. So one stick is 8 tablespoons, and then 2 tablespoons from another. Get out my paper there.
It's hard when it's frozen.
Yeah, the frozen made it stick really hard. And then, so from the other one, we're going to take 2 tablespoons. And that'll be the total amount that we'll work through. So 2 tablespoons. Set that guy aside. Okay, so then this is what she said to do. You just take this and grate it. I still had a piece of paper there. So you just take this and grate your frozen butter on here.
How
And
about that?
yeah, so I did try a couple different things like with the food processor, and then I tried this, and you know, doing it manually, if you want to call it that here, it's taking us, you know, maybe 3 minutes or something, but I love like how much control you have, and it's giving you the perfect size little
Butter, yeah.
butter shreds. So then like later on, once we have this done, we don't have to worry about getting the little butter chunks to the perfect size because they already are the perfect size.
Yeah.
So I just really liked this idea. So you can kind of see how long it's taking. It didn't take too long. So do you think you can handle this part so far, Lindsay?
Yeah, I think so. I just need to get one of those fancy graters.
Wow.
Yeah, you don't have a cheese grater yet?
No.
I'm surprised. You need that. This is a grater that's just our regular coarse cheese grater.
Yeah.
And,
I've got one like that. It's ancient.
oh yeah, the box grater. Yeah, that's what she
Oh, yeah.
talked about using. So you could use that.
Maybe I have one of those.
And then just my extra little bit here. But you do want to keep in mind, like as we're getting the rest of our recipe together, you do want to keep everything cold as possible.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we are going to actually set this grated butter back in the freezer for a few minutes while we get together the rest of our ingredients, which isn't a lot. Don't worry, this isn't complicated or anything.
Look at that tower of butter.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I didn't think that stick in a quarter. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. And so, Lindsay, if you would, so I did this on one of our little flexible cutting mats, so I can just lift that up and just set it in the freezer just like that
Okay.
for 10 minutes. So let's kind of look at our time, 7:45. So 10 minutes, 7:55, we'll take that out again. If you want to kind of remember that, Lindsay, in 10 minutes.
Okay.
And then as I wipe the butter off my hands, then we'll start to think about the rest of our ingredients, which is super simple. Pie crust, all it is your butter, flour, a little sugar, a little salt. And then what you'll want to do is have a little dish of ice and water setting nearby handy. So I just filled this with ice cubes and then filled it with water. So that's ready to go when we need it.
Mm.
And then I have another fun little shortcut here. So for flour, what we need is 1.5 cups. But with baking, it really does matter that you have it measured exactly. And when you're measuring in a cup, it can easily get pressed down to where it's too much. And that would ruin your baking, and that would make us mad. So we don't want to do that. So we're going to use a scale. I know that might sound like fussy or intimidating to use a scale, but it's not at all. All you do is you set it to the unit. We're using grams instead of pounds. Okay, so then we're going to set the bowl we're going to use. And then we hit the tare button, and that puts the measure back to 0. And then she gave me a handy measurement. It's 191 grams of flour is what 1.5 cups is. But if you get this scale, it comes with a handy little guide that tells you how much common ingredients weigh. So you can just glance at that real quick. You know, like granulated sugar, it tells you how much that is. So it's a little quick reference cheat sheet. So we're looking for 191 grams of flour. And the other thing this does is you don't have to dirty measuring cups. You just pour it straight in the bowl. So let's just pay attention to the numbers and get to
107.
Okay.
24, 40, 60, 70, 180,
Okay.
188,
Close.
193,
Okay, and then you can just back off a little if you need to.
191.
Okay, that's what we want.
Good.
So no dirty measuring cups, no fussing with anything.
Great. Good.
I like anything that lets me not do more dishes.
Yeah.
So flour, and then it's just a tablespoon of sugar and then 3/4 teaspoon of salt, and drop that in there. And then if you just want to stir that around, Lindsay, a little to get our dry ingredients just kind of mixed together so they're mixed together evenly. And then we are going to ultimately get that frozen butter back out of the freezer, but I still want to give it that few minutes so it has 10 minutes to chill again to get nice and chilly. And so while we're waiting for that, let's talk. Granny, do you want to tell us what you did for your pie recipe?
I usually made a lot of pumpkin pies. They were real easy to make. The recipe was on the can.
Yeah, good. So that's the big, yeah, you were right. No secret.
Yeah.
So that's the secret is the pumpkin pie recipe is the one from the can.
Look on the can. It's got a great recipe.
Do you have to pre-bake the shell before you?
No.
That's a really good question. So,
but I usually put a little tin foil around the edge of the pie crust so it wouldn't get dark.
okay.
Otherwise, they would get kind of dark and sometimes burn. So I always made a little crown to put around the edge of the pie, and it didn't burn it at all. It was great.
Good. So that's another little tip. So do you do that? So I've done that, but I didn't do it till towards the end when it looked like it might be getting too dark. But do you do that foil right from the beginning?
No, I wait until it looks like it's getting brown.
Okay. So you
and
wait.
Then I put it on.
Okay.
Yeah, just towards the end, and it doesn't take long. But you don't want a real dark crust. You know? It gets too old and hard.
Yeah, because that very edge, it's a lot less to bake than like the rest of the pie. So I could see where it would go a lot faster and it could get away from you. But so pumpkin pies, well, even the pie that we did that we're going to work on is just the single crust on the bottom. But you can do the crust on the top too. And actually, Pampered Chef actually came out with this fun little mold that you can make little decorative strips to do your lattice on the top.
Oh.
So it's really easy. It looks really pretty. It's like this little bead pattern, or it looks like a little basket weave. So then you have these little strips that you lay on top. So that's another way you can do it too. But
good.
Yeah, so there's that difference between the crust that you have to bake ahead of time, so you have to pay attention to that in your recipe.
Yeah.
So the other recipe I was thinking about was like a banana cream pie. So for that, you would bake the crust ahead and then put your chilled filling in.
Yeah.
But like, I know, Granny, you were also really, really good at the lemon meringue pies. So were those?
The pie crust?
The pie crust?
For lemon meringue?
Yeah. I always made the crust for that too.
I mean, do you have to bake it ahead?
No, I don't think so.
You bake it all at one time?
Yeah.
Okay. And do those take a while to bake then, those lemon meringue?
Hmm.
Do they take longer to bake the lemon meringue pies?
They did a little bit, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
not too bad.
So they're not like
I
quick.
make sure it's not wiggly.
Okay. Well, actually, I'm glad you said that because the one I did for a test earlier was a pecan pie, and what they told me, it can be hard to tell when it's done. Like, how much wiggly do you need? This just a little or a lot? But it said make sure it's 200 degrees in the center. So I took this instant read thermometer and turned it on, and I stuck it in the middle, and it did go up to it did get up to 200. So I knew I was good, and that made me feel a whole lot better.
Good,
so that can be another little secret, because sometimes just to the eye, you don't really know if something's done.
Yeah.
And
go ahead. Is the thermometer just for pies, or?
Oh no, that's for anything. That's an instant read thermometer, and it even has, you know how meat, a lot of times it can be pretty critical. You want to make sure that you have it cooked enough, especially like chicken. But it has a handy little guide right on it. Make sure you get chicken to 165 and it tells you what to get, you know, fish, pork, everything.
Ah, good.
Yeah, so that's really handy. And it even has an external, it has a little, what do you call it, like a cable that if you want, you could attach the one end to your roast in the oven and have this on the outside and know exactly what your roast is.
Excellent.
Yeah, in the oven. So like, I know if I've seen the prices on those roasts, so if you invested that much in a roast, I'm gonna make sure I get it right, so I would definitely do this.
Good idea.
Yeah, so that's a way to go. And then, so Granny, did you have any other tips on making your pie crust from scratch?
No, I just kind of follow directions. And,
Yeah.
you know, when it looked right, then I knew it was ready.
So you're going a lot by feel.
After 50 or 60 years of experience.
Yeah.
So you kind of need somebody that knows what it's supposed to look like for people that are trying it for the first time.
Oh, gosh.
What about, oh, go ahead.
It's been a while since I made a pie. I have to get busy and make some for Christmas, too.
Oh, yeah. It hasn't, well, yeah, I was going to say it hasn't been that long, but, and then Mary, you make, don't you make yours from scratch too?
Yes, I do.
And then what?
Well, I'm not expert, and then I started making gluten-free crust.
Oh,
I thought that might be a problem, but it's not because it doesn't have to rise. So you can use different kinds of flour, and it still turns out good.
so it's more forgiving than if you have to use like a yeast dough recipe.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not so good with rising yeast, gluten-free, but not non-rising like pie crust and quiche crusts and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It works out really good.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
So it has been 10 minutes. So we took out these little perfect little butter shreds, and then you just drop them in here, and it's nice with this flexible cutting mat because you can just drop it right in there, and then you just kind of toss this around a little until they're all coated with the flour. And you know, the recipes are always saying make sure you get the little pea size. Well, what's really cool is they're pretty much already the little pea size.
Yeah.
So I
they
was
are.
gonna say too, actually my favorite mixing utensil for something like this is a regular fork. It just kind of
It's
just
good
works
way to
better
do
than
it.
anything else. So yeah, I mean, to me, these look like pea size. So if you happen to have, if your shreds were like a little longer, you could work this a little bit and break them up a little bit. But you want to do it quickly so that they're staying as cold as possible. But I feel like these are pretty good. They are like that little pea size. So then this is where it kind of all happens really quick. So that's what's hard for me. Like, I like math problems with black and white answers. Pie crust, there's variations. So we're gonna add cold water, but it could vary how much we need. So this is where we're looking for the right texture, and it can throw you off because it's going to look drier than it is. So let's just start gradually here. So the recommended amount from this recipe is 4 to 6 tablespoons ice water. So I'm just going to start with 3, toss it around a little. 1, 2, 3. And let's see how that looks when I toss it around. So that's still really, really dry.
Yeah, that's still pretty dry.
But this is, I know from experience from this much, it's where it gets tricky. It's easy to add too much. So let's just add a little at a time. Let's add 2 more, see where that gets us. And from my notes, what she was saying is that combine it until the dough sticks together and stays stuck when pressed between 2 fingers. And she says it is okay if the dough is still crumbly and messy. So let's stir this and see if it will stick when we pinch with 2 fingers. So I did do a batch of this earlier today, and I feel like I had to add a little more water than she said. There's so many variables, like the humidity in your kitchen, the humidity of the flour. So don't feel like you have to do any one exact amount. So that's not pinching together.
Water.
Yeah, not pinching together quite yet. So let's do another, like 1. Let's try 2 more and see where that gets us. And this is, like Lindsay was saying, she hadn't ever tried the from scratch pie crust, and she's like, does it take a lot of patience? And I'm like, I mean, it's not that much amount of time. It's more just making sure you don't add too much.
Yeah.
So it's more like holding back, really, than being patient and it taking forever. So this is getting to where it's holding together a little better. Let's see. Actually, yeah, that's kind of
That's
pinching together. So, and this is where, to me, it feels like it's still really crumbly. But let's try to get, and then when we dump it out on our surface, it's still gonna look like a mess. And this is where it can be like, is this enough or should I add just a little more? So I'm just getting an idea if this is sticking together. So I think I might add just 1 more because I feel like I had to do this earlier and then I was happy with it. So I think my flour is a little drier than the original recipe, what hers was.
But it'll stick together better when the butter gets a little softer.
Okay, and that's happening like pretty quick because it gets softer and softer by the minute. So this, and feel free to, your hands are one of the best tools here. So I'm just kind of making sure that there's not like, okay, we're gonna go with this because I'm feeling like it's sticking together pretty good when I pinch it together.
Yeah.
So I have my nice baker's roller mat ready to go here. Let's see how, yeah, I think I see what you're talking about, Granny. You can tell the butter gets a little softer and that helps.
Yeah.
So we're gonna put this, squeeze it into a ball, and then this is a little tip from my class. She said to take it and fold it over itself 3 times. And you'd want to go real quick here because we want to keep it cold, but this will help with our layers. So that was 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Mix it.
Okay.
There you go.
So then
All
this,
Ready to go.
yeah. So then, Granny, did you chill this or did you roll it out right away?
I usually rolled it right away.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
the one,
Right.
I got this one here. So the one that I'm following, she recommends to chill this actually for several hours. So don't worry, I have an extra in the fridge that's ready to go. So plastic wrap here is your friend. So this is where you just take some plastic wrap and get this guy wrapped up. And then we'll just let that chill in the fridge or freezer if you know it's going to be a little bit before you use it. And then this will be ready to go when you need to make your pie.
Yeah.
So Lindsay, if you would stick that in the freezer and get out the one that's already done. So obviously with the whole pie process, with the chilling times and baking times, we can't fit it into just our 30-minute Zoom here. But I did some steps ahead of time so that we can see the whole process. So, and it's hard to get it just exactly the amount. So I chilled this in the freezer, and I might have got it a little bit more stiff than I want, but it should warm up pretty quick here.
It'll fall out.
And then we're gonna roll this out. So for our pie, we're gonna do a couple different things. We did a full-size pie we did a pecan pie that we'll work on later. And then the other fun option with pie is little mini pies. Have you ever seen the little hand pies or like half moon shaped pies? So I have a tool, the hand pie and pocket maker, that makes this really fun. So you can make like the round pies that are filled, or you can do the little half ones, and I like doing the little half ones.
Oh.
So this, so this you can do like your sweet or savory. So you can do like pizza dough and pizza fillings. All kind of breakfast ingredients like biscuit dough and scrambled eggs and sausage and cheese. So I thought it'd be fun to show a couple different little ways to do pie. And they're kind of fun, you know, like little individual, Mary, you call it fun food, I know.
Yeah.
Little individual ones. And you can, this bench scraper is something that's your best friend when you're doing any kind of pastry. You can constantly scrape off your surface, and then it's gonna help us too as we're rolling out the dough. So let's see if I can manage to get this really chilly dough rolled out here. So let's work on that. And then the other thing to keep in mind is your surfaces are going to have to be floured. So I have my whole bin of flour just right here handy. So I'll just take some and sprinkle it out. So you want to have just one nice big clear work surface. Just use your kitchen table like we are if you don't have the big enough counter surface. And then make sure you're good and floured. And then when you put your pie dough into a ball to chill, it kind of helps if you flatten it a little so it's kind of started for you.
Good idea.
So then we'll add a little flour to the top too, so that it doesn't stick to our rolling pin. And if you think far enough ahead, you can chill all of your tools. I have a marble rolling pin. You could have had this chilling too if you really want to be serious about it. So I'm just going to start gently rolling this out so it doesn't like crack on the edges. But one tip my class told me was, she said to make sure every time you roll to turn it a little so that you know it's not sticking underneath. Because if you're rolling away, all of a sudden you might be surprised to realize it's been sticking forever. So we're just going to...
That looks good.
Yeah, it's rolling pretty good.
Yeah, I think we'll get there. And with our kitchen being so warm that if it was chilled, it's not for long. Which can be not in your favor if it's like one of your warm days.
Like tomorrow.
Yeah. So we just make sure everything stays floured, and make sure that every time you roll, make sure you rotate it a little.
Yeah.
And just keep going. If you keep rotating, it'll stay in a nice circle for you.
Yeah, there you go.
And she's giving me a measurement that we're going for. She said go for 12 inches. So just to give you an idea here, and actually my inches are right here on my mat, so that's handy. And it starts with 0, so if I get to the 6, then I know we're at 12. So I got a few more inches to go. But then the other thing, you can use this bench scraper to kind of lift too, and because you couldn't do that with your fingers, so it's just, I can't sing enough praises about having that bench scraper. And this is what we're going to make some little hand pies out of.
Ooh.
So,
Good,
yeah, we didn't even ask yet. What is everybody's favorite pie filling?
Oh, all of them.
Oh, yes, I'm the same.
Yeah. I like pumpkin and I like lemon meringue.
Yeah.
With like a little mini pie, if you could fill it up. Pumpkin and lemon meringue.
Yeah, that's a good question. If you could do the more pudding-like fillings with this.
I like apple pie too. That's
Oh
good.
yeah, apple pie.
Yeah, when I did these before, I did apple. And you guys probably can't see it, but there you can see the little chunks of butter in here.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Can you see that?
Mhm.
And I really like that, so you can see it even in the class. She said you could do it by hand or use a food processor. And I did try a food processor, and I'll have to try it more, but I didn't feel like I had that control to get those butter all the perfect size like that. So I think for a beginner, that was the best way to do it, to grate. And I think we should be getting pretty close here.
Yeah, that's looking good.
And honestly, this is if you're gonna do a regular pie, but we're just gonna cut it little circles anyway. Okay, so this is where we should preheat. We're gonna use the little oven so that we'll preheat it so that it's all ready to go by the time we put our filling in here. So I'm just gonna preheat this to bake. I think oh, go ahead.
It looks good.
Good. So
It does look good.
it does say 375. So that is a little hotter.
When we talk, then our picture shows up for them. Ah.
Okay. Yeah, it's speaker view, so whoever's talking has the screen. So our oven is preheating, and then let's talk about little air fryer hand pies. So obviously you can use different fillings. I opted I grabbed a can of cherry pie fillings, so I don't do everything from scratch.
That's my favorite.
Is it?
That's my favorite. Yeah,
It's just such a solid choice. You can't go wrong with cherry pie. But
Strawberry pie.
oh yeah, that makes you think of summer.
That's it.
So for our hand pies, and I actually have a stone that'll fit perfectly in my little deluxe air fryer. So we're going to use that to bake these on.
Oh.
So Lindsay, this is what we're going to cut the circles out of. So you take that, put some flour on it, and then do your circles. And yeah.
Oh.
And I don't know if you guys can see that. She's doing
Yeah.
dipping it in some flour.
Okay, I think it's ready.
And then you just get as many circles out of that as you can, out of this batch. Yeah, you just twist a little, and then it'll work.
Good.
Let's see if it pulls. Yeah. You might have to twist a little bit more, push and twist. And that twisting is what'll give it.
Yeah, we'll cut it.
And this is where that you really do need that flour. I learned that the hard way. Yeah.
There we go.
There we go. And just do a few more. Depends how many pies you want to eat.
Baking little pies?
Yeah, these will be the little, I guess you would call them half pies, because you could do two round circles together, but we're gonna do little half pies.
Yeah, they're good too.
More of the 2 or 3 bite size. Well, maybe a little more than 2 bites.
I can put one more, I think.
Yeah. Okay, and then this all goes really quick. And if you need to, you can obviously use the pre-made pie crust for this, but I thought it'd be fun to try this with the from scratch dough. So
Yeah.
this is what we're gonna use, the little hand pie and pocket maker tool. And you do wanna just flour this a little, and that'll help you out a lot whenever you press these. So you just take your circle, and I honestly feel like I could have even rolled this dough thinner. And then the pocket maker comes with a little measure, 1 tablespoon, and that's the amount of filling that you want to use. And it's very, very tempting to use more than that, but I learned the hard way you don't want to do that because it will,
Flow over?
yeah, it'll blow out the edges.
Oh.
So your 1 tablespoon, and this is what's fun, you just push and press. I even probably got too much there.
Oh yeah, it's coming up the
And
side.
press it pretty well.
Oh, wow. Oh, so they fold it over. Wow.
Yeah.
Cute.
Yeah, so it gives you these perfect little hand pies.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I'll have to back off a little. And then the other important thing is once you have those, you'll just take and do 2 little slits. Especially with fruit pies, because you probably know about how they
Yeah, they boil.
yeah. Okay, so Lindsay, do you want to try one?
Yeah, I'll try one.
So you just make sure that's floured. Put your circle. I'll get you your
Okay.
tablespoon of filling. I smell the cherry. And then you squeeze it nice and hard so that pastry's pinched together real good.
Good.
Good?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then if it's floured, it'll pop right out for you. Just plop it out.
Oh, there we go.
Fancy.
I just-
Good.
A knife to.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Thanks.
Just a nice little sharp pointy knife there. So you can picture these with all the different fillings that you could imagine. I did one with biscuit dough and then chocolate in it. So it's like little churro chocolate.
Oh, yum.
Yeah.
That would be good.
And this is the perfect thing if you have kids around, you can have them help you with. And you have to remember to flour it each time.
Now those little bits of butter, they're going to melt now, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the goal anyway. So this will be interesting to compare these. Okay. Yeah, and it's definitely good to have a helper here too. So we're just doing a small batch of these today. Oh, I remember every time you have to remember to flour it so it doesn't stick on you. So,
Okay.
oh, good. Okay. Oh, I feel like that's really
Yeah, I
shy.
think you
Yeah,
can use
Good
maybe
cherry.
one more cherry.
Yeah.
but you have to be careful not to overfill. And then do your little slits. And our
Okay.
oven is preheated. So we'll throw that in.
Pretty good.
Yeah. And this is where it's good to have the non-porous surfaces that are really easy to clean up. But here's an extra little tip. When you're baking pastry like this, take a egg wash, or you could probably use butter, but egg wash is what my recipe recommended. And just whip 1 egg. I like to use these little 1-cup prep bowls. And then I like to use this silicone basting brush. You can actually get this one clean. It's like more of a silicone plastic type surface. So just brush a little egg wash on. I'll do a couple, and then Lindsay, you can do a couple.
Okay.
And that'll give you a real pretty browning color. And then if you really want to give it a little extra pizzazz, I have a little cinnamon sugar mixture. So how could you go wrong with that?
It's good.
So we'll add a little of that after you do the egg wash so it sticks real well. And these will take, in the range of 15 minutes or so. They don't take near as long because they're just the little mini pies.
No.
So I need to have fast forward motion. Oh, one more.
One more.
Okay, we'll get those thrown in.
Okay.
All right. And then, yeah, you can just throw that in the top there.
Okay. Oh,
Nice.
it says add food.
Yep. That means it's all preheated.
Just right there.
Yep. And then once it's in, you just hit that big round button one more time.
This
Yep.
one?
Yep, this one's. Yep. And then it's setting off its time. So that is going, and then I bet somebody has some ideas for this little leftover pie crust scraps. What do you usually do with those?
I don't know what we do with those. I'd probably ball them up and re-roll them out.
Yeah, we could do that.
If
So,
there is enough.
yeah, it will be enough
My
for a few.
grandmother,
Go ahead,
my
Dana.
grandmother would take a ball and flatten it out and put cinnamon sugar on it. Put it back in the oven.
Be good.
You couldn't go wrong with that, pastry and cinnamon sugar. So
It's good.
yeah, so I was just really happy with, after all my experimenting, like I said, I'm not an expert at all, but I was really happy with the way, I feel like with those butter shreds, by doing it on the box grater, it gave me, I feel like it was looking like it was supposed to. Like I don't have Granny right here to see it, to see if it feels right and looks right, but I feel like it was definitely, you can see the little chunks of butter, it looked right, felt right, and we'll have to see if it tastes perfect.
Yeah.
But we will let those bake, and then,
You got to make some whipped cream now.
that's right, yeah. I can count on Lindsay to remember the best goodies to make. So let me wrap this guy in just a little plastic. The mess really is not as bad as it looks. So we'll just take this, and if you want to throw that in the fridge,
The fridge or the freezer?
the fridge is good. And since I have this mat, I can just kind of take this entire mess and roll it up.
Well, that's pretty smart.
Like it never happened.
Oh, that's nice.
You want to set that just like that in the sink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, no, it is really good. That silicone baking mat, it helps to not stick. And then I love it, if nothing else, for that reason, just to make cleanup a breeze. It's real easy to wipe off.
that's great.
So, pie, when you're thinking of serving pie, are you guys thinking what we're thinking? What do you like to put on it?
Whipped cream?
Yep, that's what we were thinking. And I want to show you.
Ice cream.
Oh yeah, ice cream too.
Yeah, ice cream.
I want to show you how easy it is to make your own whipped cream. You don't have to buy that aerosol stuff in the can. So we actually have this. It's a whipped cream maker, and it makes homemade whipped cream in 30 seconds, literally. So you just take the base, and if you want to grab the heavy cream out of the fridge, and you obviously need the heavy cream, like the full fat, you know, the not half and half, but the full fat heavy whipping cream.
Mhm.
And it's about a cup. So you just, I had it pretty full there. This is exactly 1 cup. So you just pour it in the whipped cream maker. And there is a little line there that if you can't see it, there's a line there that'll tell you how much to use.
Mhm.
Get that under control. Okay, and then there's just a couple add-ins. You can do just a little dash of vanilla. So Pampered Chef actually has a double strength Madagascar vanilla, so you only need to use half as much as your recipe recommends. So I love having that, especially around the holidays. And then 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar. make it,
Oh, powdered sugar.
yeah, sweeten things up just a little bit. And then it gets interesting. You can add other flavors if you want. Like if you wanted to do a chocolate version, or like I feel like almond extract would be really good. You can kind of play around with different flavors. And I'll use this part in a minute, but there's like a kind of like a whisk attachment in here, and you just screw that on. And then this is where you just pump the handle up and down and keep going, and you'll feel it get thicker and thicker and thicker.
Look at that.
And we'll let it go until it gets pretty hard to pump. And it's getting harder.
Yeah.
And then when it's getting pretty difficult, I kind of like to take a peek and see where we're at. So it's a lot
getting there.
thicker, but we can go a little more. Boy, I'm just making a mess of this. I don't want to waste any. I never look at it like a bad thing when you have extra sweets. Try to make that less of a mess later. Give this maybe another few more seconds. Because even if you do this like with an electric mixer, it takes like 6 minutes probably. And this is getting really, really hard, so I'll see where we're at. Okay, yeah, that's definitely very thick. Okay.
Yeah.
So then this tool actually it got redesigned. You can do an extra fun feature. Let us show you real quick here. I don't want to waste any of this.
No, yeah, it's too good to waste.
Lindsay's patiently waiting for. Okay. Here, did you want to lick this spatula?
I'm alright.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, here you go. Okay, so Lindsay, get out our little plates. I think it's time to do a little taste test. So like we were
agree.
talking about, we can't do a whole pie, but I did one ahead of time. So
Good.
it's right over there. If you want to grab that and see if it's too hot to touch, we might.
No.
Okay, so it's been cooling, an hour and a half or so. Nowhere near the recommended time it was supposed to cool, but so what I did earlier was our crust like we did, and I did a pecan pie. And kind of like
Good
Granny's.
too.
What's that?
That's good too.
Kind of like what Granny said, I just used the recipe on the Caro syrup, on the Caro syrup bottle, because that's what you use. So we're gonna give this a shot here. And I like how when I cut through that crust, it was nice and crisp.
Yeah, that looks good.
Okay, let's see what kind of size here. So yeah, you definitely should do what they recommend and let this sit for several hours, because
So it firms up
it gets
more.
nice and firmed up. But this one, I mean, I know Lindsay and me aren't gonna wait. So we'll dig out a piece here. And one good thing, since that crust is 100% butter, you don't really have to worry about greasing your pan because there's so much butter in the crust. Okay. So you just get a little piece here. That's actually not very little.
No, it's not.
Pecan pie, that's some rich stuff. But I want to show you with the whipped cream maker, there's something else really fun we can do here. So instead of just a boring spoonful of whipped cream, let's do this little step with my whipped cream pumper handle.
Oh.
And you have this little silicone part that you basically cover the whisk with just by pushing that down. and then you have to unplug your little vent hole, and then at an angle push this back down in there so the air gets out. And then Pampered Chef came out with this little tip that's like a decorating tip for whipped cream to come out. So you unscrew the normal base, put on your decorating tip. Okay, let's see if this works. Want to hold your pie up?
Yeah.
And you have to make sure your vent hole is unplugged. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
Here, you want to try it on mine? And I know this is really torturing for you guys.
Oh, man.
So think how pretty that would be to do it on basic, well, almost anything sweet you could do that on.
Yeah. It's a good idea.
Okay, Lindsay, what do you think? Is it time to give this a shot?
Yeah, I think so.
We need a cup of hot black tea or coffee.
Yeah, I gotta have coffee with that.
So what do you think, Granny? Do you like pumpkin pie even better than pecan pie?
You like pumpkin pie or pecan? I like them both. I like them both.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Oh, yum.
Yeah.
Delicious.
I think that's everything we hope for.
That's a winner.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, I'm getting hungry again.
Well, come on up. There's a few pieces left. We'll hurt ourselves if we try to
This
do
is the
all.
hardest
Yeah.
part.
Yeah. So how are you guys feeling about making your own pie crust? I know, Dana, like you said, you haven't tried it, and Lindsay, you haven't tried it. So you feel like you have enough info
It
to
looks
move
pretty
forward.
easy,
And
but
I think it's doable.
Yeah.
I think I could give it a try.
I would say, don't worry about if it turns out perfect. Just try it. Like plow through it the first time,
Right.
and you're gonna have
I want to.
your butter shreds are going to be perfect, and then it's kind of just a matter of feeling the water. But you kind of saw what we did with pinching it, and I feel like now that you've kind of seen it once, you'll have a better idea than if you were just, I know, like the first time you do something, you're just going blindly and you have no idea. But it helps to actually,
Helps with the visual.
yeah,
It helps with the
exactly.
visual.
Yeah.